Hello, all my ghosts, goblins, witches, and ghouls. It is Miss Liz here, and I am so excited to tell you about today's fantastic program. Today, I'm going to be showing you all how to make your very own freak shakes at home, just in time for this Halloween season. And these treats are so hauntingly good that they are nothing but treats and no tricks. So to get it started, we're going to go through some of the items that you could find in your grab and go bag, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff that you need to find in your own kitchen to make these wickedly good treats. So head on into the kitchen with me and we are going to get this Halloween party started. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at all of the grab and go items that you received if you registered for this program and came to the library to pick it up. If you just happened to stumble across this video and did not register or did not pick up a bag from the library, that's okay. You can still make these deadly good treats at home using whatever candy or sweets you have on hand. It does not need to be all of the things that are listed in this video. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into that grab and go bag and you're gonna take out all of the candy that you found on there. You're gonna see things like cotton candy, witch cats, Franken Reese's cups, Twizzlers, Hershey Kisses, gummy spiders, gummy worms, and a whole bunch of other goodies that were included in your bag. These are for you to use to decorate your freak shakes. You are also going to see a cup of icing, and that is going to serve as the base for our freak shake. So don't let that guy go too far. In addition to the items that were in your grab and go bag, you are also going to need to find some items around your own home kitchen that should be on hand. You are going to go to the freezer and take out your very favorite ice cream. You are going to look for any other treats or snacks that you would want to put in your milkshake. So today I also have on hand that I'm going to put in mine some chocolate syrup, some whipped cream, and some more candy because it is Halloween. There is no such thing as too much candy right now in my life. And hopefully the same goes for you at home. And then on top of all the food stuff you're gonna need, you're also gonna wanna keep rummaging around that kitchen and find a spoon, a knife, a cutting board or a plate, and a blender. Once you have all these items assembled, it is time to get freaky in the kitchen. So let's go. So the first thing you're gonna wanna begin doing for the freak shakes is you're gonna wanna take your ice cream out of the freezer. And this is because we want our ice cream to be a little bit soupy, a little bit melted, a little bit more like a shake consistency. You don't necessarily want it to be hard. So I recommend taking it out of the freezer for at least 20 minutes before you're gonna use it. If you're using a whole container of ice cream like we're gonna do today, because we have some hungry librarians that are definitely gonna wanna try this treat after we're done, you are gonna wanna leave it out for a little bit longer. So I've had mine sitting out for about an hour and I can feel that he's soupy in there. So just take it out, leave it out, and let it get a little soupy. While your ice cream is defrosting, we're gonna take all the candy that was in our grab and go bags, as well as whatever candy you have around your house that you're gonna use, and we are gonna separate it into 3 piles. You are going to separate it into the piles of what you're gonna use to decorate the outside of your glass. You are gonna put a pile for what you wanna blend into your ice cream. And you are going to make a pile of what you would like to put on top of your ice cream. This is just to ensure that all of your candy is either A, used to the best of its ability, you don't forget about a piece, or you just have an idea of what's going on, because once we start putting the shake together, you're gonna have to move a little quickly with each of the steps. So the more we can plan ahead of time, the better off you are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start planning my ice cream piles. So I'm gonna have on this side what I'm decorating the outside of my shake for, in the middle what's going in my shake, and on this side is gonna be what I am putting on top of my shake. So take your candy and start separating with me. Now yours does not have to be the same that I'm gonna do. It could be whatever order you want it to be in. It's just as long as it's a sweet treat, that's all that matters. So once your piles are separated into what you're putting on the outside of your cup, what you're putting on the inside of your cup, and what you're putting on top of your cup, it is time to move on to the next step. What I would like for you all to do is you're gonna take the candy that you're gonna put inside of your ice cream to one side of the table so that it doesn't get mixed up. And you're gonna take the candy that you're gonna put on top of your ice cream to the other side of the table. And we are gonna work with the candy that we are gonna use to decorate our glass. What we're gonna do in this step is we're gonna cut it up to make sure that it fits all around the rim of the glass that you're provided with. And you're gonna start seeing how you wanna do it. This is not the decorating stage yet. We're gonna plan it. So there is no right way to do this. Just know that once you cut the candy, obviously you can't go back to the original shape. So really think and plan out how you want it to look. Mine, I think I'm just gonna go for it to be a monstrous disaster, kind of like Frankenstein's creature. But you're more than welcome to make yours look however you would like it to look at home. So you're gonna take, once you start cutting up the candy, you're gonna take your plate or your cutting board, whatever you're using, and your knife, and you're just gonna start opening your candy and cutting it up. Once the candy for your outside is all chopped up and ready to go, you are going to begin by frosting the outside of your glass so that we can decorate it. I will say that once you start frosting this, you're gonna move a little bit quickly because the frosting does dry and you wanna make sure that all of your candy sticks to it. So you're gonna take the icing that was in your grab and go kit and you're gonna start putting it around the side. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. You can put the icing as far down or as high up as you would like to on your cup. Just make sure that as you're icing it, there's a thick amount of icing on there. You don't want to be able to see any glass through your icing layers like this. You want to make sure that this is all covered. The thicker your icing, the better, and the more you're going to be able to stick to it. So keep that in mind as you're going. Another pro tip is it's also better to start higher up on the glass. You can always build your way down if you want to have more of an iced surface, but you do want to keep it high up top at first, just to make sure that you have enough icing to decorate it the way you want it to. So like I said, get it nice on there thick, and keep going to make it look however you want. If you get frosting on your hands like I am doing right now, it's okay because we're working with a glass jar. You can just wipe it off with a paper towel once we're done. Once the rim of your jar is all nice and frosted and thick, you are going to then take your candies and start decorating the outside of it any way you want and any design you want. If you start to run out of room on your glass like I'm about to do, you have two options that you can do. If you have more icing, feel free to make another layer of icing on your cup so you can decorate more down. Or you can say, you know what, this looks good, this is how I want it. I'm gonna use some of these toppings to put into my shake when I blend it up. And you can leave it to the side, or you can enjoy it as a snack while you're making the rest of your treat. So I lied, you really actually have three options of what you wanna do. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of frosting and just put my spider on my glass like this. And then we are gonna move on to the ice cream part. Once your cup is completely decorated the way you want, you're gonna set it to the side. We're gonna let that frosting get a little bit hard and let those candy pieces stick to it. That way, if we need to put any more on, we can before we do the last part of our shake. But for right now, I'm gonna let mine sit. I really like how that blood is oozing out of the Hershey Kisses right now. That might be my favorite part of these right going on. So hopefully your cup is looking as gross and as monstrous as mine is. So like I said, once your cup is all decorated and off to the side, it is time to start putting our ice cream concoction together. So what you're gonna wanna do is get a blender. You're gonna wanna open it up, and you're gonna wanna start putting some of your ingredients in there. So if you are making one freak shake for just yourself, you can put however much ice cream you want in there. Oops, mine is super soupy. Oops. And you're just gonna pour some in. Doesn't have to be an exact measurement because it's a shake for you. So the general rule is to do maybe like half a cup, 2/3 of a cup. But if you want a bigger portion of ice cream, by all means, make it however you want the shake to look. Then if your ice cream is still a little hard, this one's not, you can take a little milk and dump it in there just to kind of make it a little bit more liquidy when you get to the milkshake part. do not start off by dumping a whole cup of milk into here because you do not want it to be super liquidy. You want it to be thick enough that your candy is gonna stay on top. So it has to be thick. You just wanna be able to blend it. So if you need to add milk, by all means go for it. But if yours looks like mine does right now, you're better off not adding any in if you don't want to. So then you're gonna take whatever candy you want to blend into it. I'm gonna use some of the leftovers from the side of my cup to dump them in. So we're gonna have a nice peanut butter, vanilla ice cream, peanut butter cup shake. And if you find while you're doing this that you don't want to use all the candy that you set aside to use for each stage, that's fine. Put the candy to the side. You can always eat it a different day. You can always eat it on the side of your milkshake. It's whatever you want to do for your shake. So don't feel like you have to use everything and don't feel like you have to throw everything in there. Make it how you want it. Like, I originally was going to use these M&Ms. I might use like a pack, but I'm certainly not going to use all of them anymore. So once all of those are in there, you're going to cap your blender and you are going to blend it until it is a nice smooth shake. So I'm going to take this off camera to go blend it because I can't reach the outlet, and I will be back in a few to show you what it's supposed to look like. All right, once your shake is blended together, you are going to put it to the side for a second. And we're gonna do one last thing to our cup before we dump our ice cream in. If you're using any kind of syrup and you wanna make it look like it's dripping down the sides of your cup, now is the stage that you'll do that. If you're not using any syrup or you do not want this, feel free to skip this step and move on to the next one. But if you're like me, I wanna live my extra life, so I'm gonna put as much stuff into my fruit shake as I can. You can use chocolate syrup, you can use strawberry syrup, you can use caramel syrup, whatever floats your Halloween boat. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna start by pouring it on the side of the glass, and then you're gonna gently roll your cup. Don't move the syrup, but rather roll your cup. Go on this side, gently roll it, and you should start seeing it trickling down. And if you wanna make it some zigzags, some monster patterns, just lightly roll your cup as it's falling. Once all of your syrup is down the side like a creepy crawly bug crawling to the bottom, because that's what it reminds me of. Ew, I know. You're going to take your milkshake and you're going to dump it in. Then what you're going to do, what I highly recommend, what my pro tip for these freak shakes are, even if you don't like whipped cream, is to put a light layer of whipped cream on top of your ice cream. This is just gonna give you a more solid base to stick your candy on top of. However, if you really hate whipped cream or you don't wanna use it, you can skip this step. It's just, if your ice cream is a little bit liquidy like mine, it might be a little bit harder to stick, but that's okay because it's a freak shake and it doesn't have to look perfect. But I highly recommend using this. You can either use the spray can like I have or the Cool Whip in a tub. They both work the same, so it's fine. From there, you're just gonna decorate the top of your shake using whatever you have left and whatever you would like to use, and make it as monstrously creative as I know you are at home. Once your shake looks as monstrously delicious as you want it to, you're gonna take that straw, pop it in, and you are going to drink it. So thank you all so much for joining me today to make our freak shakes in honor of Halloween. I hope your treats are as devilishly delicious as mine is. If you would like to share your creations with me, I would love to see the creature creations you come up with. Please feel free to send me an email with a picture of it at the email address below and show off those treats. I hope to see you all at the library, and I hope you all have the happiest of Halloweens. Enjoy your shakes, and we'll see you next time. Bye!